y'all, it's Chels with Cooking with Chels, and today we are making a creamy sausage tortellini soup. It's gonna be full of flavor. We are about to roll into fall, and y'all know it's soup season, so let's get into how to make it. First, we're gonna start off by chopping our onion. Y'all know I like to prep my food first. And right now, this is about the only thing that I do need to prep. Everything is going in one pot, which makes it really easy, but I'm gonna get as much prep work out of the way as possible. So I have a pound of mild sausage, and then I have a little over a pound of hot sausage. I'm gonna use about half of this. So I'll use about 3 of the sausages here, and then I'm gonna use the whole pound of mild sausage. I just want it to have a little kick. I don't want it to be too spicy to where my family can't enjoy it. Although I love spicy food, I am sharing this with my family, so I'm gonna use a little bit of this hot Italian sausage. So you're just gonna get yourself a good knife, make a cut, and it should come right out. So I'm just gonna leave these slit open, and then once we get to the pot, I'll squeeze it all in there. So now we got what we need. We're gonna head on over to the stove. So for this soup, I busted out my Dutch oven. This is the best thing when you are making soups, stews, or chilies. It just enhances the flavor to me. I don't know, but I just love it. And so this is gonna be perfect for this tortellini soup. So if you don't have a Dutch oven, I definitely suggest you invest in one, but just use what you have on hand. So we're gonna start off with our stove on medium-high heat. So to brown my sausage, I'm gonna use the oil from my sun-dried tomatoes. There is so much flavor packed into this little jar. And so just make sure when you're making soups, stews, chilies, or making a chicken, use the oil. This is gonna be a great substitute to enhance the flavor of your dish. Now we're just gonna get started on browning our sausage. I'm gonna throw in the hot sausage, and I'm gonna throw in the whole pack of mild sausage, and I'm gonna let that brown. And then once it starts to get a little brown, I'll throw in the onions. So now I'm gonna throw in the mild sausage. Again, I'm gonna use the whole pack of mild. This is just gonna balance out the flavor with that hot sausage so it's not too spicy. Now I'm just gonna brown up the sausage. I'm just moving it around so everything kind of gets a coat at the bottom of that pan. And then I'm just gonna leave it alone and let it brown, and then I'll start to flip it over. As you can see, our sausage is already at the bottom of the pan, but this Dutch oven is giving it some good depth. So once we start building in all of the different flavors or ingredients, this is gonna be perfect to hold the soup. So again, I highly recommend getting a Dutch oven pot. Once it starts to brown, just start flipping it over. The one thing I like about sausage is you can't really burn it. I mean, you can burn it, but even when it tastes even when it is a little burnt, it still tastes good. So now we are going to add in our onions and just start building on the flavor. Perfect. We're just gonna give that a nice toss, and they'll start to sweat down. And another thing that I like about Italian sausage, it doesn't leave all of that oil. Like you can see, if I was using like a ground beef or something, it would be full of oil at the bottom of the pan. But Italian sausage just cooks down really, really well. The onions are gonna sweat down, and so I don't have to worry about taking a paper towel or anything and coating the bottom of the pan and getting any oil out. So that's a plus. Now I'm gonna turn this eye down to about a low medium. I'm going to just kind of let that sweat down, and then I'm gonna work on the sun-dried tomatoes and prepping the mushrooms. I'm just going to take a couple of scoops of these sun-dried tomatoes. I'm gonna place them on my paper towel, and I'm just gonna press out that excess oil because I don't want my soup to be oily. So once you take them out and you get the oil that you need, just press it out as much as you can. And I want to try and keep as much oil in the jar as possible because I do want to use this oil again. So before I'm even placing them on a paper towel, I'm trying to squeeze out some of that excess oil. it out. Like, look at all of that oil. I hate to even get rid of it, but I can't have all of that oil swimming in my soup. Look at that. You don't want all of this oil just swimming around in your dish, you guys. So make sure you press it out. So the next phase of building on this soup is to add in some more veggies and flavors. So we are gonna add in some mushrooms, sun-dried tomatoes, some tomato paste, and we're gonna start seasoning our mixture. All right, so our sausage should be done cooking and our onions are sweating down, and so now we can add in the rest of our veggies. Now I'm gonna add in the veggies. I like my mushrooms nice and thick, so I'm gonna leave them how they are, but if you have a texture problem, just cut them up. They'll be just fine, but I'm gonna leave them exactly how they are, and I'm gonna start pouring them in my soup. So I am going to break these apart just a little bit. I don't want them super thick, so I am gonna kind of have them just a little bit. And then we're gonna add in our sun-dried tomatoes. Ooh, it smells so good. We're just getting started. So now I'm gonna start seasoning my mixture. I'm gonna start with adding a couple scoops of tomato paste, and then I'm gonna add in some seasoning salts just to start enhancing the flavor. So I'm gonna take about 2 big spoonfuls of tomato paste. Not that much. When I'm seasoning my food, especially when I'm using a seasoning salt like my Garlic Madness, this all-purpose basil all year round seasoning is a seasoning salt. I usually start with about a teaspoon or a teaspoon and a half, maybe 2. And then as I go, I'll taste my food. These are heavy in salt, so just make sure that you are adding in a little bit at a time and you're not overdoing it because you don't want your food to come out too spicy. So I love making a soup because they usually come together in one pot. They're hearty, they're warm. Everybody can get a bowl or two, and you can also freeze them. You can just set them in some little trays and freeze them, and you can go back to it. And then a lot of different soups. I mean, you're using Italian sausage. You can use rotisserie chicken. I mean, the world is endless with your options. And so soup is always a good fall staple because it comes together so easy. Let's see what we're working with. Ooh, that is good. And right now, it has a really good salt content. So once I start pouring in my liquids, I think I'll be okay, but I'm gonna make sure I taste it before I add anything else to it. So now I'm gonna start pouring in my liquid. I have 32 ounces of chicken broth, and then I also have a little bit of heavy whipping cream. I'm just gonna use a little bit of this. I want it to be nice and creamy, but the majority base of the sauce is gonna be chicken broth. I have another 32 ounces of chicken broth. I'm just gonna start to add that in. I'm gonna use about, let's see what half gets us. I just want to make sure that everything is covered, and when I pour in my tortellini, there's space for it to cook as well. So it looks like I'm using the whole thing. Now we're gonna pour in a little bit of heavy whipping cream. I'm gonna start with a cup first, and then I'll build on it from there. Now I'm just stirring my soup. I have my stove on about a low to medium heat. I just want everything to start warming up. I'm actually gonna turn this up to about a medium because I need it to come to a little bit of a boil. And then I will start adding in some other ingredients, but I wanna make sure this heats up so then I can turn it down and let it start to simmer. So now I'm gonna get started on the garlic bread. I just wanna make sure that this is prepped so we can just pop it in the oven when our soup is almost finished, because it's gonna take about 8 to 10 minutes. So I just wanna make sure that the cheese is shredded and I'm ready to go. So I'm just gonna cut this piece in half, and then I'm gonna half it again so I can save this for another day. All right, then we're just gonna slice this bad boy in half. Some of this Philadelphia Philadelphia whipped garlic and herb cream cheese, and this stuff right here, I'm telling you, add it to your rotation. If you're making a sandwich, if you're making garlic bread, if you're making pasta, soup, or anything creamy, this right here will elevate your dish 10 out of 10. And this you can just use however much or little that you want, depending on the flavor you're trying to get. So I'm just gonna make a nice even coat on the bottom so I can put some cheese on top so it can get nice brown and crispy. I have a little bit of pepper jack cheese here. This is what I had in the fridge, so this is what I'm gonna use. You can use cheddar cheese, you can use Monterey Jack cheese, Colby Jack cheese, whatever kind of cheese you like, but I'm gonna use a little bit of pepper jack cheese and I think it'll really elevate the flavor. I'm not dirtying up any extra plates, so I'm just gonna shred a little cheese here on the side until I get the amount that I need. Fun fact, pepper jack cheese is my favorite kind of everyday cheese. I do love a good truffle cheese, and any kind of just fun charcuterie, but pepper jack has my heart. So now I'm just gonna sprinkle that cheese over my bread. Ooh, we got the perfect amount. I know this is gonna come out so bomb, you guys. I'm gonna take a little bit of my organic triple basil melody seasoning. This is from one of my favorite small businesses out here in DFW. So if you are in the area and you're watching this video, make sure you check him out. He has some of the best seasonings. I have so much from him. I have his all-purpose seasoning. He has a Cajun butter. He has infused chili, extra virgin olive oils, and he just has so much. And they grow a lot of their food that they put in the seasoning, so it's like a win-win. So make sure you check them out. I'm gonna make sure I add the link below somewhere. So our garlic bread is nice and prepped. I'm gonna pop it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 8 to 12 minutes. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I'm gonna put a timer for 8 minutes. I'm gonna check on it, and then we're gonna see how much longer we need to go. I'm just gonna check on my soup and see if it has come to a simmer, which it has. Oh, and it smells amazing. Oh, that smells so good. We're about to add some more stuff to it now that it has come to a nice boil, or simmer, should I say. I'm just gonna add in, or start adding in, my spinach. This is something that you can wait until kind of the end of the soup because you just don't want to overcook everything. We all know spinach, it doesn't take long to cook. I think we're ready to start adding in a little bit of cheese. Now I'm gonna add in some Philadelphia garlic and herb cream cheese just to thicken it up a little bit. So this is gonna add some flavor and some thickness to the soup. I'm also gonna add in a block of cream cheese. Again, this is just gonna help with the tackiness of the soup. I don't want it super thick, but I do want it to have a little bit of creaminess to it. So I'm gonna add, I'll probably start off with like half, maybe 3/4 of this, but I do wanna add to the thickness. So the cheese is melting, the cream cheese is melting. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my tortellini and just let everything start to cook together. I think the flavor is good. A little bit of seasoning to it. So I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of my all-purpose. Some of my Kinder's caramelized onion butter. This is my latest obsession. I can't get enough of this stuff. I saw it on sale at Broth, the big jar, y'all, for $5, and I had to get it. Some garlic madness seasoning from my girl So Good Cooking. And then we're gonna throw in a little bit of red peppers for some heat. I'm gonna put the lid back on and I'm gonna let this simmer for about 10, maybe 15 minutes. Just to make sure all the cheese is melted and just to make sure that everything is combined, and then we'll come back to it. our bread is ready. I broiled it at the top for a couple of minutes, and now it is nice and brown and toasty, and this just looks amazing. So I'm gonna cut up a couple of pieces. Ooh, that crunch. Okay, you guys, the soup came together. It's time for a little taste test, and let's see what we got. Mm, it's creamy. It's nice and hot. Let's try the garlic bread. Tens across the board. This is so good. Whether you make this for yourself or make this for your family or a little date night with your boo, I'm telling you, you're gonna love this and you'll have enough for seconds. See you guys next time.